out, serves it over now. Franca, the set here by Reynolds, the hammer by Woods, and she's got it. Woods, played for Reynolds. Hammered, Viernes, that's in. Point TWU, the kill. And hammered over, dugout. Stockman tries to get to it. Oh, great play there by Reed. And it's hit out of bounds by Vollet. Great job there by TWU. Keep that play alive. And over, Dovich gets a dig out. Reed will send it back over. Wallace, the set. She'll just tap it. Stockman, the set. Woods, hammered. She's got it. Point TWU. Dean will look to get some more points on the board for Pittsburgh State. Franca, set. Spike by Jean-Louis, and she'll get the kill. And another point for this TWU squad. By Franca, Stockman tapped over, blocked off a hand and sent back over by Johnson. And this time, it's Katie Hansen again, the kill. Point TWU. And we've got an ace on Obradovich. Good
to keep it alive.
Woods, set, Reynolds. Jones, spike, dug out by McCroskey. Reynolds again. Served up by Franca, and Viernes sends it over, and that will do it. Woods, set Reynolds. Hansen hits it down. Anna Dean tried to block it, but it went off her hands and out to the left side. Point TWU. And 2023, Franca had 455 digs. Oh, and Jean-Louis hammers it down for TWU, who's leading by 1. McCroskey off her hands, and there's an ace. Set Reynolds. Viernes just taps it over the head, and good dig out there by Wallace. McCroskey over. McCroskey again, and now it's Viernes over to Jones, who will just dump it over. Nobody was home, and so good play there by Franca. Set here by Reed, the fake. Viernes hammers it down to McCroskey and gets the kill.
Incredible.
Hansen off the net. Oh, just got a hand on it, and it'll be an ace. A lot off the hands of Reynolds. It's up in the air and smoked by Viernes. Good dig by McCroskey. Reynolds again. Now Franca. Viernes again will send it. McCroskey dug it out. Set. Wallace tipped by Fink. Reynolds. Jean-Louis off the hands. Over again. Obradovich. Over Reed. Tapped over. Oh, great job there by Woods, reading the defense. There was nobody there. Battle. They have led most of this fourth set. However, Pittsburgh State has not gone away. They have come back and come back and come back and are within 3. Set. Slam. Hansen gets the kill.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say Matt Dumba just because, they needed a right-handed shot, and, that kind of puts Miro back on his natural side. So I can't wait to see that, that kind of moves over to the regular season. I think it's going to be really well. Also just adds a lot of depth to that defensive side. They really didn't have to make a lot of changes. I mean, but bringing in guys like Labushkin and, Blackwell, as you mentioned earlier. But you've also got some young guys in Liam Bixel and Maverick Bork, too, that have been kind of, rising through the ranks in the AHL. So I think the Stars are, like you said, really well balanced, and that's going to be fantastic. Especially if somebody gets hurt, you've got somebody to slide right in that spot, just keep the roster balanced. So it's going to be, I'm interested to see what Nashville is going to do on their defensive side. But for the Stars, I mean, Wyatt Johnston got it going in his first game as a Star against Nashville. I think he's going to be an X factor. I want to see what Stankoven's going to do in that first line with Hintz and Robertson. I think the Stars, if they just push the offensive pressure on Nashville, pepper Scott Wedgwood, the former Star, early, I think they can take a pretty good win out of this. Yeah. Before we switch over to that next point, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. What is Ottinger going to do? I mean, injuries kind of affected him last year. He went to the All-Star game, and I thought he was going to, boost his confidence, but he just kind of didn't really go to that next level. So what is he going to do this year? I mean, it's like you said, that team runs through Jake Ottinger. So if he can hold it down this year and make some, have some great games, I think the Stars are going to be right there.
Sean, how are you feeling about the defensive lines?
I mean, the big thing with the Stars last year, the way they were able to just dominate in the Central Division was they stayed healthy almost the entire season. There wasn't very many big injuries, and so I think if the Stars, if they keep playing that, by the grace of God, if they get lucky and nobody gets hurt, I think this team is just going to keep rolling. I mean, they were so close last year, and that loss to Edmonton really, really hurt. So, the big thing is, how is this team going to do on the penalty kill, especially in the playoffs? I mean, Edmonton killed us on power plays. So, how are they going to, kind of surround Jake Ottinger to make sure that, more pucks don't get in his face, so he doesn't get hit in the mask? That's really what I'm going to focus on, especially tonight. You mentioned Peter DeBoer. He's got a track record of getting to the Cup final and just can't close it out. He did it with San Jose. He did it early on in his career with New Jersey. I think he's so close, and I think he's got the team to do it. The question is, can he finish? I want him to stay here. NHL coaches don't last very long. So we'll see. He's got to win it, though. I want him to.
I didn't know where I could start. It was so good. I checked the score before I got back. I was, like you said, we were up 30-7. I'm like, okay, I predicted Alabama to win just because they were in, Bryant Denny. But, when Georgia started coming back, I said, okay, it's Georgia. I expect a pretty good game. And then they took the lead with, 2 minutes left to go? Just back and forth battle. Really it was Alabama's defense that couldn't step up in that second half and, allowed Carson Beck to just drive down the field and score. Even tie that game. But, thanks to Ryan Williams, that place was nuts. I wish I could be there, honestly. That was fantastic. That's what you expect out of this Alabama-Georgia rivalry. I know Kirby's 1-6 versus Alabama, but that is a game you should expect every single time you turn on the television to watch these two teams compete. They always have a great game against each other, and they put on another show. So absolutely, game of the year so far for me.
Yeah.
The Mean Green won their second straight game to start the young season, defeating the Grambling State Lady Bears 83-60 on Thursday night in the Super Pit. The game started out slow with both teams getting on the board early, but quickly became a back-and-forth battle all the way to halftime. Senior Jacqueline Moore reached a new milestone on Thursday, reaching over 1,000 points in her college career.
It feels good, of course. In the game, I wasn't really thinking about it because you're kind of just going with the flow, taking what shots come to you and all that, so I wasn't forcing anything. But, it feels good. Been playing basketball for over 10 years, so, to be to where I started at to now, feels great.
Moore posted 24 points on the night, leading her team to victory. The Mean Green were also led by strong performances from graduate student Desiree Colonel, who posted 18 points on the night, as well as a strong defensive performance from Tamisha Lompkin. This comes after an impressive first win against UNT Dallas, 117-60.
I feel like this is probably the hardest I've worked in an off-season, my whole college career, so I feel like it's good to show, my hard work paying off because I was in the gym more than I've ever been this summer in, preseason, so.
While the team had trouble with rebounds, they were able to maintain a strong hold on the game throughout the second half. The Mean Green pulled away late in the third quarter and were able to hold on to an 18-point lead into the fourth. Ultimately, their performance was too much to handle for the Lady Bears. The Mean Green also got their second win under new head coach Jason Burton.
I feel great about our team. I don't feel great about the way we rebound. And we're going to have to do that versus A&M. It's obviously going to be the biggest team we've played this year. And I thought, it was a good test because Grambling has some good bigs. They played physical, and we were going to have to do a good job as far as covering their bigs, but it's a different animal when the A&M bigs are 3 or 4 inches taller.
Burton, during his tenure at A&M Commerce, was the winningest coach in the school's history. The Mean Green look to continue their red-hot start this weekend on the road against a tough Texas A&M team on Sunday in College Station. For NT Daily News, I'm Sean Hunley. For the last 5 years, the United States has been ravaged by the deadly drug known as fentanyl. It's a synthetic drug meant to be used in hospitals to help treat pain. However, it has found its way into common street drugs. This is incredibly dangerous because the smallest amount is enough to kill you.
If you Google lethal amount of fentanyl, it'll compare it to a penny. And it's mind-blowing of how much will actually kill you.
Approximately 2 milligrams is considered a lethal dose. Dealers are manufacturing fentanyl in homemade labs, then cutting it into common drugs such as meth, Adderall, and heroin. A detective within the Denton Police Department's narcotics unit says this is one of the deadliest things he's seen in his 24-year career. He let us record his voice, but wishes to remain anonymous due to his work in the department.
One pill could have 10 times the amount as the next pill. So each pill could have a deadly dose of fentanyl in it, and that's why you're basically playing Russian roulette every time you take them.
According to Texas Health and Human Services, the number of deaths related to fentanyl over the past 5 years has consistently risen. It's an epidemic that continues to affect tons of people across the country and their families.
My oldest brother, Angelo, started doing heroin in probably 2009, 2010, and it just developed over, he just got sober like a year ago. And by the end of it, it was fentanyl, it was pressed Xanax pills and Oxycontin. It was horrendous.
The unfortunate part about drug addiction is the enormous toll it takes on someone, especially family members.
Seeing the effects of it was rough too. Like I said, seeing someone overdose on a floor is rough, but I don't know, having little to no interaction with them past a dry conversation, like it was rough. It was very rough.
One way the city is trying to curb the number of drug-related incidents is by adding overdose kits into the 85 AED boxes located around the city. Each kit comes with a 5-step process on how to tell if someone is suffering from a drug overdose, as well as 2 canisters of Narcan, which reverses the effects of an overdose almost instantly.
It's everywhere, and then a lot of people that I do interviews say that they don't use alone. They always have a second, so that when they do overdose, that they're able to be brought back to life using the Narcan. So that, I think, is helping some of the numbers, because without that, they would probably die.
In Denton, I'm Sean Hunley. In status, some students also use this as another way to get involved with their community and stay close to sports in college.
Yeah, it helped me stay involved in a community. I have that in my sorority, and it's really cool to meet people that I wouldn't have met without this organization.
The teams travel around the country and compete against other clubs from different colleges, such as Texas, Texas Tech, LSU, TCU, and Texas State. They practice on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. at the fields in front of Santa Fe Hall. For anybody who wants to play, just go to their social media page and reach out to the club contact.
It's a great way to stay active for sure, and I think of it as a great outlet for when I'm super stressed. Since I'm taking so many classes as a biology major, it's a great way for me to keep my mind off of schoolwork and just have fun.
For NT Daily News, I'm Sean Hunley.